this whole obesity is a slur argument, I'm going to laugh into the face, directly into their face so that they can smell my breath, at how dumb that is, how dumb it is. If somebody ever told me don't say obesity, it's a slur, I'd be like, you're fucking stupid. I'd be like, get out of my face and never talk to me again. I would say, are you stupid or are you dumb? I would tell them, you should go home. You should go home. I would bully them. Good morrow, everybody. My name is Robin, also known as SunnySideUpGal, and you are my Sunny Side Up pal. Good morrow, good morning, and good day. So today we are just going to be doing some chitting and chatting. We're going to be chilling, and we're also going to be talking a little trash about people on the interwebs, particularly the realm of FATLOGIC on Reddit, because that is always super duper fun. If you are new here, hello, welcome, hello, and good day. Again, my name's Robin, and if you haven't already, please consider giving me a subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And don't forget to like the video. Actually, go ahead and like the video now, because I already know you're gonna like the video. We love FATLOGIC. We love it. If you are not new here, thank you so much for returning. I really appreciate it. You are a sweet baby angel and a sweet baby angle. So why? Right now it is 3:55 in the morning. I have been fiddling and fartling around with the computer and the setup for almost, actually, yes, an hour. Because if you couldn't tell already, I'm no longer on the floor. If you are like, Robin, were you on the floor? Yes.
Let's not stand on ceremony here.
I'm a floor person. I've been on the floor since I started doing this YouTube channel.
I was born in it.
On the regular. So I'm not on the floor no more.
I am delivered.
I still have my drywall, which is most important. And on top of that, I mean, look at what we've got here. You can't see it, but we've got a desk. I mean, I still have my lighting and stuff like that. I am, I'm just growing and deciding, let's be a little bit more professional about this. But actually, the whole reason why I'm at a desk right now, I wanted to film with my husband yesterday, and I feel bad for him because he's not a floor person. He's not Asian like me. We're floor people. If you are Asian, you know what I'm talking about. But my husband is not floor people, and his butt falls asleep every time we sit on the floor and chit and chat. But we also are chitting and chatting for like hours. Anyway, what are we doing today? We are going to be doing an episode on the realm of FATLOGIC on subreddit. Nope. FATLOGIC. If you are unfamiliar with what FATLOGIC is a subreddit on Reddit where people turn in some random FATLOGICal things that they find on the internet, and they bring it to Reddit so that they can talk trash about it. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna go to Reddit, and we're gonna look, and we're gonna react, and we're gonna chit, and we're gonna chat about some of these FATLOGICal posts. And actually, the first one I'm gonna show you this morning, I have notifications turned on Reddit. Did I do that on purpose? No, but I think when I signed up for Reddit, I just never said, don't send me notifications. But anyway, I got this one in my email. God, I'm old. I got this one in my email this morning, and I was like, first of all, I was intrigued by the color grading. I don't know why. I'm a girl. I'm a little crow. I don't know. I was attracted to it, and I was like, oh, I guess today's episode we're going to be talking about Fat Reddit. So that's where we're at. Also, if you couldn't tell already, this is bedhead. I am in my jammies. This is how I woke up. I mean, obviously I put eyeliner on because I am insecure, but we're not going to, that's it. All right, so if you are unfamiliar, I will read the definition of FATLOGIC. FATLOGIC is anything that deviates from the scientific facts of body weight management. This can range from fundamental misunderstandings of how biology and physics work to lengthy political diatribes about how everything is society's fault. Falling victim to FATLOGIC means accepting misinformation that will harm efforts to keep your body at a healthy weight or lose weight if you need to do so. But if you're looking at the screen, look how pretty this is. I think this is so pretty. For some reason, I was like, attracted. Clearly, it's somebody's Instagram story or something. But let's read it. The poster says, I don't think that's how it works. And then somebody posted on their Instagram story, I low-key stopped caring about losing weight when I found out my metabolism and mental health are permanently fucked from generational famine and wars. Like, okay, can't argue with that. So you giving up? So this person is giving up because they have generational famine and wars. Listen, you guys, I know this is going to be really hard for you to understand, but literally every single nation, nationality, ethnicity has been affected. Listen, okay? Has been affected by generational famine, wars, even slavery. Almost everybody, almost every ethnicity and all that jazz have been affected by some kind of generational trauma. Okay? That said, it is not a great excuse to live your life in a way that's unhealthy because your family has been, has had some, bad luck in the past generations. That's just really dumb. Like, I doubt your family survived all that trauma for their like descendant to be a fat piece of shit, basically. And that's what you are being. That's what you're being. I'm sick of it, you guys. I'm sick of it. All right. Okay. All right. All right. So this one is about PCOS. So this says, PCOS makes you defy SICO. PCOS makes you defy SICO, schmalleries in, schmalleries out, and the laws of thermodynamics, apparently. All right, so if you guys don't already know this, I have PCOS and Hashimoto's, and I've lost and maintained over 40 pounds for the last few years. I'm currently on a new weight loss journey where I'm trying to get down to a healthy weight. I'm currently like at obesity, and I'm fluctuating like 3, 4, 5 pounds. It's usually just water, but I'm fluctuating, and I'm hitting a wall. But I don't normally count calories. I usually just count macros. That's what's worked for me. That's how I lost my weight, is doing a high fat, low carb diet, counting macros, and not really paying attention to calories because I eat a lot of fat. So like, yeah. I'm sick of people using PCOS or Hashimoto's as an excuse to like refuse to lose weight. I'm 100% okay on board with people saying it's taking me a lot longer to lose weight with PCOS, because it took me a lot longer. I mean, it took me an okay amount of time to lose the weight at first, but getting past 180 pounds was so difficult for me. And even now, like every 5 pounds is like, it's like another Mount Kilimanjaro to climb. It's like another Mount Everest for me. And it's so frustrating, but I'm trying not to like stress out about it, because am I happy in the body that I currently am? I actually do think that I look okay. Do I know that being in an obese body is unhealthy? Absolutely. And I'm working on getting to just a regular schmegular body size. But yeah, I feel better than ever. I feel great. I understand that my BMI is higher than it should be. But I mean, it does take me a lot longer to lose weight because I have PCOS and Hashimoto's. I'm not saying it's impossible though, but let's see what this person says, okay? Let's read it first and then we'll break it down. PCOS, insulin resistant, carb intolerant type 2 diabetic here. Jesus Christ. I used to weigh 320 pounds. I'm down to 245. Great job. It's taken me years. Doctors have failed me over and over. The amount of money I've paid to get told just to lose weight while eating 800 to 1200 schmalleries is a crime in itself. I quit relying on doctors and started paying attention to me. What foods made me feel bloated, gassy, or had me running straight to the restroom? I started getting into weightlifting. Walking is cardio enough for me, and I cut out starch, carbs, and even most complex carbs. I fast 16 hours a day. I quit snacking. Our bodies don't break food down fast because our metabolism is a sloth. So I eat 2 protein-packed meals a day. If I need a snack, nuts and dark chocolate. A serving of Lily's dark chocolate chips are 50 calories for a tablespoon mix, and mix them with the nuts. Okay, pistachio, almonds, walnuts, and cashews are best for us. Chia seeds, awesome. Ground flax, great. You're not doing anything wrong. We are built different. I agree with that. Eat in the right order. Protein, fiber, fats, carbs always last. Carbs are always last. I'm still learning, but bought a size 16 shorts yesterday from Old Navy. I used to be a size 26. Okay, so this person, honestly, this is great advice. I don't know why they're in FATLOGIC. I think this person that posted them in FATLOGIC is kind of being a butthole. But let's listen, because it's not just about the schmalaries. This person obviously changed their macro intake and started fasting and stuff like that. Like, I know that fasting is naturally like a great way to reduce your schmalaries, but like, I'm not 100% sold on schmalaries in, schmalaries out, especially when you're like metabolically fucked like this person is, and like I have been. Yeah, let's read. Okay. So this person said, the amount of money I've paid to get told to lose weight while eating 800 to 1200 calories is a crime in itself. So there's no way that you were eating 800 to 1200 calories and not losing weight. Unless, and this is a big unless your entire diet was consisting of just insulin inducing foods. So if you are only eating carbohydrates and like candy, I can see how I can see how 800 to 1200 calories could make you like not lose weight, because, and maybe this is a hot topic or like a hot take, but not every calorie is built the same. They're equipped with other things that do different things to your body. So like, for example, 800 calories of fat or 800 calories of an avocado is going to do something different to your body as far as like an insulin response than 800 calories of pure sugar or like 800 calories of bread, basically, because there's a larger insulin spike. And insulin is a growth hormone. It is a fat storing hormone. Before you say anything that it's not, this is not me villainizing insulin. I understand that everybody has to live with insulin. You've got to have insulin or you'll die. That said, it is, before you say anything, it is a fat storing hormone. You cannot store fat without insulin. You have to have insulin, and it is a growth hormone. It takes a part, and it's a huge role in a lot of like the growth of a human being. So like gaining fat, and gaining muscle. Now, the only times that a human is ever naturally like on purpose supposed to be insulin resistant is in times of major growth. So those are moments like puberty, like you're gaining your breasts and you're getting taller and all that jazz. And in pregnancy, you're growing a baby. And then I think also maybe in infancy, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I can see how somebody gained or did not lose weight while eating 800 to 1200 calories, and it's probably because their insulin was spiked all day long. They switched to intermittent fasting, which is something that I do, and that has also helped me lose some weight. It is not to reduce my schmalaries. I still hit my schmalary intake, like whatever. If I'm plugging stuff in, I still hit at least, my TDEE. But what it does for somebody who has insulin resistance or PCOS is it helps regulate your insulin and allows your insulin to fall to baseline, because the more you eat, even if you eat something that's low carb, you're still going to have some kind of an insulin response. And if you're insulin resistant, that insulin is just going to be chilling and just like storing fat. So good on them for switching to intermittent fasting. Very cool. It also looks like they changed their eating habits. So like they got rid of like junky food, I guess. They said they quit snacking. Our bodies don't break down food fast because our metabolism is a sloth. So I eat 2 protein-packed meals a day. If I need a snack, it's nuts and dark chocolate. So yes, I am also team no snacks. I just don't think that, especially with the obesity epidemic in our country and what I believe is also an insulin resistance epidemic. I feel like a lot of people are insulin resistant because we've been feeding our faces with carbohydrates since we were kids, basically. I don't think we need snacks. I think we've over-snacked our entire lives, basically. So all right, everybody deserves to be treated with respect, no matter how the way... God, I can't read today. Let's put these on. Much better. Okay, everybody deserves to be treated with respect, no matter the way you look. This is an interesting take, however. Every single time I respond to fat phobes in defense of fat people's inherent entitlement... Whoa, hold on a second. Every single time I respond to fat phobes in defense of fat people's inherent entitlement to dignity and respect. Okay, I jumped to conclusions. They invariably, without fail, tell me I'm going to die soon because they automatically assume I'm fat, and they love to fantasize about fat people dying. They can't wrap their malnourished brains around the fact that a skinny person would believe fat people deserve to be treated should be treated like people. Like, on one hand, I'm barely over 100 pounds, so nice try. But on the other hand, that doesn't fucking matter because, for one, every fat person I know is still healthier than both myself, who has ARFID, and these health nuts who carve themselves. Oh, and more importantly, there's nothing moral or immoral about health. You are not a better person for being healthy, which I guarantee if you believe in thinness at any cost, you aren't anyway. Jesus pole vaulting Christ.
Here he goes. Calm as can be. Red sash flowing. Can he clear 595?
Let it look
Rising! Still rising!
Clean! He's still going! He's not coming!
Okay, let's break it down. Every time I respond to fat phobes in defense of fat people's inherent entitlement to dignity and respect, they invariably, without fail, tell me I'm going to die soon because they automatically assume I'm fat. So yeah, I think that's a little unintelligent of people to assume somebody's size or assume somebody is fat. I do it. I do it. Sometimes when I see people commenting like on somebody in the fat acceptance community on a comment that they don't agree with, I automatically assume they're fat because I don't know. They can't. Now this right here is the part where I'm like, what are we doing? Okay, it says they can't wrap their malnourished brains around the fact that a skinny person would believe fat people deserve to be treated like health people or like people. So a lot of the times, there's a lot of obese people who do have malnourishment. First of all, our soil is completely depleted of nutrition, but also fat people don't eat a lot of like variety. That's a generalization, but like the majority of people who did get to a fat body did so by eating like children, kind of. So like very beige foods. They love the argument that like people in thinner bodies are malnourished because they're not stuffing their faces 24/7, and that's just like not true. I'm barely over 100 pounds, so nice try. But on the other hand, that doesn't fucking matter because, for one, every fat person I know is still healthier than both myself. So you must know like 3 people that are fat, because if you put 20 obese people in a room, like maybe one of them might be metabolically healthy, but like nobody is healthy if you're obese, you're not healthy. All right, this one says, a fat woman breaks all our cultural roles and social bindings for women. We take up space. We look larger and more powerful, more unmanageable, more uncontrollable, and much less suitable as a sperm receptacle and social trophy prize. I think calling mothers sperm receptacles is extremely offensive and icky. Like, just say you're ugly. Particularly if we dare to be happy and move with unrestricted ease. Unrestricted ease? Like, baby, you can't fit on a plane. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? A fat woman breaks all our cultural rules and societies for social bindings for women. We take up space. We look larger and more powerful, are more unmanageable. Why is this a virtue? Why is that a virtue? Like, I know that not everybody, like, I know, this is very, very old sounding, very, very like 90s, but like, I know that we shouldn't really care about getting a man, but like, why is not getting a man a virtue lately? Not that I'm saying like you should go out there and get a man, but like, why is it sounds like a fucking cunt a virtue? Like, why does that sound like power to you? I just may not understand what's going on here. Oh my God. Okay, this one is so fucking dumb, dude. So irritating. Okay, it says, why don't white men embrace thick white women? White beauty standards are rooted in pedophilia. Pedophilia. This irks me so badly because PDFs don't want adult women. PDFs don't want women, they want children, right? So like, you wanting to be in a thin in a thin or like a fit body, not even like a stick thin body or anything like that. Like you wanting to be in a healthy body is not anywhere near like what a child looks like. Even if I got down to like underweight, I would still look like an adult woman, right? This new cope that everybody, first of all, this person sounds obese, first of all. Second of all, this person, it's just a parrot. They didn't really like do the research. They probably haven't even read a paragraph of actual logic in ages. But people have wanted fit, lean bodies. Like obviously beauty standards, you know, they change. Like now boobs and butts, all that jazz, they all that changes. I get that. But like people have always wanted like fit, fertile, you know, thinner bodies for like millennia, right? I can you know, nobody has ever wanted, I mean, society as a whole is not going to get on board with this whole like let's get with 500-pound women, right? It's never going to happen. The whole white beauty standards is rooted in pedophilia is stupidity. It's stupidity, and it actually, I think it's offensive. It's offensive to people, in my opinion, who have been victims of pedophilia, right? Pedophilia. And yeah, the argument makes no sense. Adults wanting bodies that are like lean or strong has been a virtue for like millennia. So I would even say like an adult woman who's lean doesn't look like a child because she's not overweight. I'd go to the point that like sometimes overweight women look like giant babies. So what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? I don't get it. If someone's BMI is on the upper end of normal, they're probably carving themselves. Who lied to you? Most women I know that are 1.6 to 165 are max 60 kilograms. 68 kilos is the normal weight for a person, especially a woman. Whoever you know are probably carving themselves. And then they're showing their BMI is like a normal healthy weight. That's funny. Okay, so this one I can kind of relate to. It says, oh, and by the way, if you're over 5'6", you will genuinely look emaciated at anything under 160 for real. I'm 230 pounds at 5'8", and when I was the ideal weight of 120, I was a walking skeleton. It's genuinely horrific. So let's see here, 5'8". Okay, so that's not the ideal weight. That is considered underweight. Can y'all see that? So I don't know what they're talking about. So 5 foot 8 inches, 120 pounds is considered underweight. So no wonder you look like a skeleton. You were definitely not healthy. I can relate to this person's post because I remember even I still kind of think this way, but I feel like when I was 145 pounds, and I got there using unhealthy methods. So if you're not aware, I used to have a really, really fun after high school lifestyle. I was using a lot of shrugs, and I also was struggling with my own beating recorders and using anything I could to reduce my body, right? So, but it was also, I never got to underweight. I just wanted to get to like a healthy weight. I just did it with unhealthy methods. So when I got to 140 pounds, when I started gaining weight, my excuse to not miss the body size of 145, 140 for me, which is considered a like the high end of a healthy weight. Let's look. So 5'4", which it is my ultimate goal again, just because I am doing it healthier now. It's not going to be like 80 pounds in 1 year like I did before. It was actually 80 pounds in less than a year, maybe over that. You know, it's been so long. All right, so that is the top end of healthy. I felt like I would tell myself, you look like a skeleton, like that is not a healthy way to be. And I think I think the reason why I always thought that I looked like a skeleton, or that like I look like a weird person, like to me it looked like I had a giant head on like a skeletal body, was because I got there with I got there with so much trauma and like self-hate and like, danger, that now I kind of still associate that body size with danger. I just like subconsciously, like I obviously know that like it's a healthier way to be at. But I can relate to this. I always called myself like a skeleton back then, even though I was like a normal healthy weight. But and it was just an excuse to keep myself fat. It really, really was. It was an excuse to not lose weight. It was more of an excuse. And I feel like a lot of people in the fat acceptance community use the excuses or similar excuses like this to prevent themselves from having to be responsible and to like lose weight. So this was a little bit, hit me right here. Hit me right here, because I was like, I get it. I understand that. I understand not wanting to, like, I felt emaciated because I was basically just like not feeding myself the right things. So yeah, I get that. Am I there still? No, I want to be 145 pounds again. Like if that means that I'm supposed to have a bobblehead, then I'm just supposed to have a bobblehead. All right, this one. Some sanity at the end. You're free to date whoever you want. Friendly reminder, choosing not to date somebody because they're fat. God, why did you pick Walmart colors? Choosing not to date somebody because they're fat, regardless of the attraction, compatibility, and other reasons. Did I read that right? Choosing not to date somebody because they're fat, regardless of attraction, compatibility, or other reasons, dehumanizes fat people. It's discrimination. You should never discount a romantic partner based on a demographic group they belong to. It makes it seem as though fat people are inherently undateable, and that's rooted in societal expectations and anti-fat bias. First of all, why would you want to date somebody who's not sexually attracted to you? Or like, why are we forcing people? Like, you should be happy that these people are discriminating against you for being fat. Like, why would you want to be with somebody who would ever even have that thought in their mind, right? Like, not to say that people who don't want to be with fat people are bad people. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that people have preferences. That's not a bad thing. Why would you want to force somebody who has a preference to like ignore that preference and date you regardless just because you're funny, right? It sounds very, first of all, I'm sure, I am absolutely sure based off of the statistics of how many women are in the fat acceptance movement, I'm absolutely almost positively sure that this is a woman who wrote this. If a man wrote this, people would be pissed. People would be like, that's kind of gross. People would be like, that's a little bit incel-y, right? Am I right or am I wrong? Let me know in the comments. Okay, keep in mind, discrimination versus preference. Preferences become discriminatory when they go beyond personal type and systemically exclude or devalue fat bodies. No. Discrimination, I feel like you can, like, discrimination is using your building your preference on something. Sorry, this chair fucking sucks. Building your preference on something that somebody can't really change. If you discriminate against, like, other races, if you discriminate against, people with disabilities. I don't know though. I think that let me know in the comments what you think about that. Like, do you think that if you're a runner, that's an interesting topic. Let's side note for a second. If you're a runner, obviously you can't help who you fall in love with. So I'm sure there's, possibilities everywhere. But do you think it is considered discrimination if you are somebody who's extremely active and somebody who is not extremely active, or like is in a wheelchair and they're not like an active person, I guess, in their wheelchair? It's a discrimination to be like, oh, I don't think that we're compatible, even though you may find them like beautiful and funny and all that jazz. Is that discrimination? Let's talk about that in the comments. I'm actually pretty interested about that. I don't know if that makes me a jerk, but I'm curious. I don't know anything, I'm just talking. We're just talking, we're just chitting, and we're just chatting. Data shows that certain body types, particularly fat individuals, face lower response rates on dating apps, indicating widespread systemic bias. Cultural context preferences are often shaped by societal stereotypes and Eurocentric beauty standards, making personal taste difficult to just decouple from broader prejudice. Preferences are often shaped by societal stereotypes and Eurocentric beauty standards, making personal taste difficult and decouple from broader prejudice. So what are we trying to do? Are we trying to are we going to have some kind of a class or like some kind of a seminar to help change and like build people's preferences? I understand that preferences are shaped around societal stereotypes. You can find that in like in specific countries in like Africa, I think Morocco or parts of Egypt or whatever, they have like a preference for fatter bodies. And even like people in the Gen Z generation down there, regardless on if they're being influenced by their phones or not, they're still influenced by their society and find that obese women are attractive. But at the same time, like I feel like we have to respect people's preferences. If you're not respecting people's preferences, it gets a little icky, in my opinion. Do you know what I mean? Like if you are coercing people to fall for fat people or to give fat people a chance, it just doesn't feel very, first of all, it's not authentic, right? So you're going to be hurting two different parties. You're going to be hurting both parties in the long run. And also, I mean, I've said it already, but like beauty standards change. You can also just like wait, sit and wait and see if the beauty standard will ever get to like where it is in other countries where they want fatter women. But the whole reason why fat women in like specific countries in Africa are interested are the beauty standard is more of like a status symbol. Like they think that thin bodies are poor and fat bodies are like well off.
The beauty standard here in Mauritania is to be obese. This is due to the fact that most of the country is in extreme poverty, so obesity is a sign of wealth and is idolized in some parts. Even stretch marks are rewarded and are seen as an achievement on their journey to becoming as fat as possible. This practice went out of style in 2008, but later made a comeback in some parts of the country after a military coup.
Okay, it depends on your height, of course, but a lot of people are overweight at 160 pounds. I would be overweight if I gained that much, and I'm 5'4", so I am also 5'4", and 160 is my like first big goal weight. I'm doing like little tiny goals, but like 160 is my big goal weight, and I wanted to get there by June, and it's not gonna happen. So it's pretty fucking annoying. Anyway, I really need to stay off Instagram Reels just fucking cause I just saw some girl saying that being 160 pounds means you're fat. 160 pounds fat. What the fuck? Depending on your height and how you carry weight, that's like skinny and slightly chubby mid-sized fat. Where are we going? Or what are we doing? What are skinny people on? Honestly, I feel bad for them though. Like they straight up think that anything over 120 or whatever is horribly overweight and ugly. Please free yourself and your mind from this fatphobic plague, and you will generally be so much happier, I promise. So like, agreed. I mean, I feel like people are a little bit too like reliant on the BMI scale. I think that there's more to the BMI than it just being like, I need to be this specific number, right? Because you can also do like your waist to height ratio. You can do like a caliper test. You can do like a DEXA scan and see where your body fat is. And if you are if all your other numbers are like in range, you have a little bit more like leeway to be in a higher body weight according to the BMI, right? So I'm not a big fan of people just using the BMI. I think there's more to it because I mean muscle weighs, when you get to like, I want to call it the cusps of each section. So like the cusp of obesity to overweight and the cusp from overweight to healthy weight. There's more like, I feel like there's more wiggle room with where you can be on the BMI scale. So like, for example, if you're 5'4" and you weigh 155, you're only 10 pounds over a normal weight, but you might be an athlete, right? So that's where I can see somebody I can see why somebody would be like, why do you think that you're fat at 160 pounds? But at the same time, 160 pounds is only 15 pounds overweight. That's not going to be that difficult to lose. It's not something to like lose your mind over. I don't know. Okay, under a post about how being slimmer is a lot of normal people's natural weight. Normal people, you mean sad and skinny little wafy girls who have their entire existence revolving around fitting into sexual fantasies of men. Yeah, a lot, I mean, I do believe that there are a lot of people who are like naturally thin. Some people don't believe that, but like people, I mean, the human body is, in my opinion, like has like a what's the word I'm looking for? A default setting. So like we have a default setting, but we're overfeeding it as Americans. So that's why I feel like if we didn't have the Industrial Revolution and as much like junk food and as much like hyper processed foods, I mean, we would all be like normal people in normal sizes. I believe, I mean, obviously there's more that goes into there, like being active and stuff like that. But as far as like putting work into a thinner body, I think it's more like mindless. Like people who naturally are thinner, they just they don't necessarily try to be naturally thin. They are naturally thin because they can like kind of mindlessly control their intake. They also they're also subconsciously active. Maybe they fidget a lot. Maybe they actually are active. Maybe they work at a very physical job. They're not like at a desk. You know what I mean? Like me. Fat logic refuted in LSAT prep. Doctor, being overweight has been long linked with a variety of health problems such as high blood pressure and heart disease. But recent research conclusively shows that people who are slightly overweight are healthier than what? But recent research conclusively shows that people who are slightly overweight are healthier than those who are considerably underweight. Therefore, to be healthy, it suffices to be slightly overweight. The argument's reasoning is flawed because the argument ignores medical opinions that tend to lead to a conclusion contrary to the one drawn. B, never adequately defines what is meant to be healthy. C, does not take into the account that the fact that the appropriate weight varies greatly from a person to person. So first of all, the reason why I would say it's flawed is because it's talking about being slightly overweight. So just like what we said before, if you're 150 pounds or 160 pounds and you should be 145, that's considered slightly, in my opinion. If you, what would you consider considerably underweight? I would say somebody who's like skin and bones, right? A big bag of bones. Somebody who's 5'4" and weighs under 100 pounds, right? So yeah, obviously somebody who's slightly overweight has more of an advantage to survival than somebody who doesn't, because you also have stored energy, basically stored food on your body. Okay, this one is going to be about kids. God forbid you be concerned about your child's health, your own child's health. Let her be fat. Maybe your higher weight and fat is an evolutionary development due to our mothers carving themselves in order to stay thin. They intentionally mimicked famine, malnourishment, making them the weaker sex. AFAB bodies, so assigned female at birth bodies and assigned male at birth bodies, are compensating by developing fatter and stronger bodies. Oh my God. Yeah, they're developing fatter and stronger bodies in order to survive famine. Bitch, we are dying younger though, so what are you talking about? Does somebody need to just like induce a famine? Like, is that the next fucking panorama? It's just like famine so that these fat people can lose weight. Like, I'm so confused. I really, really, really like, what a dream for them, I guess, right? I don't know. Let's just have a famine so that we can finally prove that our theory about our bodies getting fatter every year is so that we could survive a famine. That'd be nuts. Let her be fucking fat. Stand up against fat phobia, especially at the doctor. Love her and support her wholly. No, I really, really wish that my parents would have like tried to help me get a little bit thinner when I was younger. I had such crazy food issues. Like, you guys have no idea. And it's hard when you're a parent. You can't. It's hard. It's hard, especially when your parents are like single parents or like always having to work and you're coming home being by yourself and like have the entire house to eat, basically. I wish my parents I wish my parents would have stepped in. I really do. While I appreciate your perspective and do believe beauty comes in all shapes and sizes, she is 17, 5'5", and weighs over 200 pounds. The data shows she is much more likely to develop chronic health conditions because of that. Okay, good job, Mom. That's where my concern lies. Good job, Mom. If her health is not actively deteriorating, I wouldn't say anything. Oh my God, is this person like dumb? Nothing my parents ever said made things better. It just made me more aware of the judgment of others. Okay, I don't think that that's a bad thing. I have a problem with some parenting these days, you guys. I feel like a lot of people are protecting too much, and I'm not saying don't protect your kids. I'm saying like it's okay for your kid to understand that like people are assholes in the real world. Because guess what? People are assholes in the real world. They really are. You know, the best we can do for our children is to teach them to treat others with dignity and respect and kindness. But to completely hide them from the fact that people, you know, they might get made fun of, or they might be told, you know, X, Y, and Z. It's crazy. I wish that no one had ever commented on my body, even if it was meant kindly. Being overweight does not immediately make someone unhealthy. Don't say anything. Just give her the tools to choose for herself. Yeah, just give her like a fucking 5 books about being obesity, or like start leaving pictures of dead obese people in the bathroom for her. That's a great idea. I know you have come I know you have come to it on your own. I had to. 36 years of being obese before I finally decided enough was enough. I have so many regrets about waiting so long, and I think I am trying to prevent that heartache for her. Oh my God, yes, this mom is good. You should be trying to prevent it for her. I took my kids on easy hikes. They put a 40-pound vest on them, and we did it again. They had fun, but I explained to them how awful it is to be overweight. Both my boots are in the gym daily. Both of my boots are in the gym daily and in their 20s, and eat prepped food 70% of the time. I would encourage you to rethink your conflation of being fat and being healthy. Listen to the maintenance phase. Do I need to do a maintenance phase episode, you guys? Like, I'm scared. Read books like Your Body is Not an Apology and Mothers, Daughters, and Body Image. Support your daughter in having a good relationship with her body and not having a relationship to losing weight. Fat bodies can be healthy, loved, and joyful if they're not being policed. Like, it's like a complete like blindness to the risks, the health risks of being in an obese body. It's like they're doing this. They're like, I'm not hearing you. Like, I'm sorry, you're 36 years old and you've had some issues, but like you're like, most importantly, your daughter needs to not be told that she should lose weight. Like, you're a shitty person. Oh, nope, there's no diseases that come with it. Like, blah, 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 basically, right? Okay, the gag is the woman who posted this isn't even obese. Yes, we love a skinny savior, you guys. We love a skinny savior. At the heart of the GLP-1 for aesthetic weight loss purposes debate is the idea that we are all struggling with our weight and thus need a solution. But I'm not struggling with my weight. The world is struggling with my weight. My weight is quite literally what makes what I do possible. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, baby? I get asked all the time, how do I keep my projects all separate? How am I able to do so many different things at the same time without one determining the quality of effort I can give another? And my answer is simple. I eat. I eat to my heart's content. Of course, money and privilege are important determining factors when it comes to the pursuit of personal interests. But even with money and privilege, you won't be able to do these things if you don't nurture yourself. And then food itself is a privilege, but that's a conversation for a different post, though not entirely unrelated to this one. Okay. In the past 6 months, I have recorded 14 songs from my 6th full-length album, written 60,000 words across various writing projects, and seen over 144 lighthouses. Sounds like my stepmom. All right, bringing my grand U.S. total of 505 out of the 800 mostly still standing. What? Oh, the Lighthouse tour. Okay. And still, I'm able to unconditionally be there for my friends, to take in the things they say. Whoa, hold on. To take in the things they say so I may follow up and check in on them as needed. I call my mom regularly. I work out at least 4 times a week. I read at least 4 books a month, and I am informed and up to date. But I am rarely overwhelmed. I don't know. It sounds like also you don't really take care of yourself. Like, it sounds like you're doing too much, in my opinion. I already know the objections I will get because people are so attached to skinny and so uncomfortable when it comes to embracing a body that isn't. They'll say you can do all that because you don't have kids or you don't have a 9 to 5. They'll push the idea of necessary overwhelm before they're willing to accept that they've been driven to overwhelm unnecessarily. So industries everywhere can profit. The other day I watched a video by Joshua Doss who talked about how a good researcher sets out not to prove their hypothesis but to disprove it, and only when they failed in that endeavor does the hypothesis come true. So I went into all of the different scenarios to figure out if I could disprove this hypothesis. Would there ever be an instance where the messaging of nurturing your body could be detrimental not to the industry but to yourself? Again, would there ever be an instance where the messaging of nurturing your body could be detrimental not to the industry but to yourself? Yes, if you're over nurturing your body and you get obese. That's not good. The answer is no. Feed your body. Okay, no, don't overfeed your body. Feed your body, yes, but do not overfeed. Do not overfeed. All right, let's do one more and then we got to call it a day. Perfect one to end it on. All right. Do not use the O slur. By the way, skinny people, you should never be using the word obese. I don't care if you mean it in a clinical context. I don't care if you think it's the proper name for our condition. I don't care if you say it's a joke or only refer to things that aren't people. Who's doing that? Who's doing that? You should never be using the word obese to describe anything, and if you are, you're fatphobic. I am dead fucking serious. Fat people, obviously, we can call ourselves whatever we want to, or reclaim it, or what have you. I've seen fat people who reclaim it, but I do not ever want to hear that shit from a skinny person ever again. Dude, I swear to God, I swear, somebody is in a fat suit somewhere, underground, in the realm of fat acceptance, becoming the president of the Fat Acceptance Committee and coming up with this fucking bullshit so that the fat acceptance community looks really stupid. They literally, I was telling my husband this yesterday because we recorded an episode for my members. So if you're not a member, join my membership at the link below, $2 a month, okay? But I was telling him, I was like, they literally they plagiarize. So they take the arguments of like actually marginalized people or actual like minorities, and they carbon copy it and they just change the words so it kind of fits a fat narrative. So like this is almost like the reclamation of, I would say, any kind of racial slur. The argument is there, right? So like, I'm not going to say anything, but I've seen and I've known people of color who have reclaimed specific racial slurs. They use this type of argument as well. It's okay if we do it, but it's not okay if you do it kind of thing, which I have no problems with, right? Being obese is not the same as being black. Being obese is not the same as being gay. You cannot change, you will never be able to change the color of your skin, like, and your actual race, right? But you can avoid and prevent obesity, and you can also reverse it. It's a reversible thing. So this whole obesity is a slur argument, I'm going to laugh directly into their face so that they can smell my breath at how dumb that is, how dumb it is. If somebody ever told me don't say obesity, it's a slur, I'd be like, you're fucking stupid. I'd be like, get out of my face and never talk to me again. I would say, are you stupid or are you dumb? I would tell them, you should go home. You should go home. I would bully them. But yeah, like, no, I'm sick of this whole obesity is a slur. I'm sick of the whole, if you lose weight, you're, giving into the PDF beauty standard. I'm sick of if you don't want to fuck fat people, you are discrimination. You are discriminating against an entire nation of fats or what the fuck ever. I'm done. I want to say it's played out. I want to say it's not rooted in logic, and so therefore I can't even wrap my head around it. Even if I wanted to pretend to be like, yeah, this is a slur. I could not. I would be caught. So, yeah. Anyway, what did you guys think? What are your thoughts? You know, I love FATLOGIC. It's so fun to see what's out there in the wild, and it's also fun to see that there's an entire Reddit out there that is also thinking that fat people are being dumb on the internet. What do you guys think? What do you think the best take, you know, what was the worst take out of all of these FATLOGIC posts? Yeah, they must be stopped. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought. If you made it all the way to the end, please leave a alien emoji in the comments. Just to, I think you know, I think that would fit. If you haven't liked the video, don't forget to like the video. If you liked me, go ahead and give me a subscribe. And again, if the video gives you the option to hype it, go ahead and hype it. You know, feel weird asking about that, but also whatever. We're growing the channel. I think I'm you know, I think I could do what I want, and I want to tell you to hype the video. Yeah, I hope you guys have a great week. Come back next week because I post twice a week, every week, and once on the weekends for my members. Again, you can find my membership link below. It's $2 a month, basically nothing. So have a great rest of your week, you guys. I am going to take a nap before I have to go to work. Goodbye.
Last day, I knew you were my pet. I wanna tell you that I love you.